Warfighters trust their weapons with their lives. But what happens when arrogance threatens that trust? Today, inside a quiet armory at Fort Campbell, a young sergeant faces a decision that could save, or cost, American lives. If you care about the real heroes who stand guard in the shadows, hit subscribe and stay with us. This is Truth Untwists. The 5th Special Forces Group compound on a late summer afternoon carried its familiar smell. CLP oil, carbon, and decades of stories locked in steel racks. For Sergeant Kira Voss, that smell was comfort and warning all at once. On paper, she was the weapons vault clerk. In reality, her experience ran far deeper. At just 27, Kira had already walked through dust-choked alleyways in Kandahar, cleared mud-walled compounds alongside Delta Force, and earned respect the hard way, by keeping soldiers alive when seconds mattered. Yet most days at Fort Campbell, people only saw a 5'4" supply sergeant with a desk. Kira wasn't just an administrator. She was an ex-cultural support team specialist, one of the women quietly attached to Tier 1 units when male soldiers couldn't engage local female populations. Her grandfather, a Marine armorer from the Vietnam era, had trained her since childhood to read the metal. By 16, she could strip and reassemble an M4 blindfolded. By 20, she was outperforming seasoned armorers on stress pattern diagnostics. The Army never advertised what CSTS really did. While headlines focused on infantry rotations, women like Kira gathered life-saving intelligence, spotted IEDs, and prevented ambushes through relationships only they could build. Over 74 direct action missions left her scarred, literally and mentally. A pressure plate blast at Forward Operating Base Thunder ended her operational career, but not her will to serve. Inside the armory that day, 3 civilian contractors were final checking a batch of M4 carbines slated for an upcoming Special Forces deployment. They were confident, dismissive, and dangerously wrong. "Step aside, sweetheart," one smirked, torquing a barrel nut far past spec. They didn't see the subtle stress fractures forming under his wrench. They didn't hear the invisible clock ticking down to catastrophic failure. Kira did. Her eye caught tiny curls of aluminum shaving off into the bolt carrier group. Shavings that would cause short stroking, jams, and bolt override within a few magazines. She'd seen the pattern before, in firefights where a single jam could cost lives. For Kira, weapons maintenance was never just a job. Every rifle was a soldier's lifeline. Every overlooked defect carried ghosts. The teammate who bled out after an avoidable jam. The friend who'd warned of a faulty plate only to be ignored. Those memories followed her home every night. As the contractors joked about paper pushers, Kira's mind flashed to the 18-year-old operators soon to carry these rifles into the chaos of Syria. Kids from small towns, trusting their gear more than anything. 30 minutes until the base commander, Colonel Mitchell, walked in for the quarterly inspection. Once signed off, these rifles would ship. Protocol said document the issue quietly, but protocol would cost lives. "Gentlemen," she said evenly, "these weapons are not safe." "Listen, honey," Brennan, the lead contractor, sneered. "We've been building rifles since before you joined." His partners chuckled. Her options narrowed. Risk her career or risk someone's son never making it home. Kira stepped between the table and the men, calm but immovable. "You're about to sign off rifles that will fail under fire," she said. "Not on my watch." 5 minutes early, Colonel Mitchell entered. A no-nonsense leader, he surveyed the scene. Brennan jumped in fast. "Sir, everything's ready for sign-off." Kira took a breath. "Sir, I request permission to demonstrate a critical safety issue." Mitchell hesitated. "Sergeant, we have certified armorers here." "Sir, with respect, I served with Tier 1 units at FOB Thunder. 3 years on cultural support teams, 74 missions, medically retired after an IED." She placed a Delta Force challenge coin on the table, a coin she'd earned when her quick action prevented a catastrophic failure mid-raid. Mitchell's eyebrows rose. Few outside elite circles ever saw that coin. "Show me," he ordered. With quiet precision, Kira field-stripped the first rifle in 17 seconds. Under the bright vault lights, she pointed to glittering metal shavings, fresh burrs, and the telltale fractures along the over-torqued barrel nut. "The technical manual calls for 30 foot-pounds baseline, sir. They exceeded 60, misaligning the gas system. Under sustained fire, this will bind the bolt carrier, then fail outright." She set up a proof fixture on the bench, cycling the bolt. On the third simulated magazine, the system seized exactly as she predicted. Mitchell leaned closer, reading the gauges. Silence filled the room. 7 of 12 weapons show identical defects, she documented, snapping photos, logging serials. Her notes read like a forensic report, irrefutable. The contractors shifted uneasily, bluster draining from their faces. Mitchell looked up. "How long have you been finding these issues?" 18 months, sir, she replied. "This is the 4th contractor team I've tried to stop." The colonel suspended their contract immediately pending investigation. Within weeks, confirmation of her findings permanently terminated it. Quietly, 5th Group soldiers started seeking her expertise directly. Master Sergeant Rodriguez asked her to pre-inspect every rifle in his team before deploying to Iraq. Soon, entire battalions lined up. Mitchell went further, drafting a new billet, Special Operations Combat Armorer, requiring Tier 1 or CEST experience. For the first time, female soldiers' operational knowledge was codified as mission critical. Months later, Kira received a letter from Specialist Marcus Thompson. During a firefight in Mosul, his M4 began showing early signs of short stroking. Because of her training, he recognized it, transitioned to his sidearm, and saved his fire team. "I'm alive because you cared enough to speak up," the letter read. The armory itself remained unchanged. Same smell of oil and carbon, same rows of weapons. But the nameplate on her door now read Special Operations Armorer. No more patronizing dismissals. No more silent risks. Every rifle that left her vault had her signature of trust. And though Kira would never claim the spotlight, 5th Group soldiers knew one truth. Countless lives were safer because one sergeant refused to stay silent. Heroes aren't always on the front line pulling triggers. Sometimes they're behind a workbench, saving lives with knowledge, courage, and quiet defiance. If you value untold stories like Sergeant Voss's, the ones that rarely make headlines, subscribe to Truth Untwists, hit that notification bell, and share this video so more people understand what real service looks like. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep the truth untwisted.